Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse, where we dive between the panels and break through the fourth wall. I'm your host, Matt, and this week I got Ed.
Hey, what's up, man?
Paulo.
I'm trapped in a glass cage of emotions right now.
And Mike.
Hello, I'm free.
Hey. All right, yeah, so this week, kind of figured we'd take a little bit of inspiration from last week where we talked about Batman the Animated Series. It got us talking a lot about it. We're watching, again, this is like, what, week 4 in quarantine?
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is year 5. Like, it feels forever.
I don't remember the last time that I saw The Office at work, or the last time that
It's like, I'm pretty sure Comedy Central is running a marathon, Paulo. You can watch The Office whenever you want.
Yeah, it's so accessible.
I thought you were going to say The Sun, and I'm like, that's fair.
Just living in his
I remember
underground
the last time I
bunker.
saw The Sun.
Well,
Day 116.
well, I mean, to Ed said a keyword. He said forever,
What?
which, you know, makes you think of the quintessential movie Batman Forever.
First thing that comes to
What do you
mind.
mean, that soundtrack is amazing. And by that soundtrack, I mean, that Kiss from a Rose is amazing.
That's
Wait,
soundtrack is wild.
Kiss from a Rose is from Batman and Robin, not Batman Forever.
No, it's forever.
Is it
It's
from Forever?
it's 100% Batman Forever.
No.
Batman Forever also had the U2 song in it.
Yeah,
That I do remember.
It also had Jim Carrey playing the Joker, and had Tommy Lee Jones playing the Joker.
So if we're going to talk about Batman, let's start with the good Batman, because we always talk about the Batman animated series. I figured today would be a good day. Let's think back to it. Let's talk about some of the better
Do you know
episodes of
why
it.
it's a good time to talk about Batman the Animated Series?
Why?
Because we have fuck else to do except
Because
rewatch
we
it
are
on DC
trapped.
Universe.
Right now, we're trapped. We can't
do
go
yourself
anywhere.
a favor. Do yourself a favor. Get that DC Universe subscription and watch all of Batman the Animated Series. And then when you're done, watch the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. And when you're done with that, watch Superman. And you know what else you should do? Watch Justice League, because that show's fucking great.
Just
Wow,
watch
that's
the
not the one.
entirety
Yeah.
of the Timverse, as
Just
it's
watch
called.
the DCAU.
Yes.
How dare you leave out Batman Beyond?
Oh, I shit! I didn't mean to leave that out. Watch that too. That show's great.
Wow,
That's
you
just
fucked up.
fantastic. Yeah.
Just watch all of the DCAU. Do yourself a favor. You have time now. Watch the 60 billion hours of that show.
Because there's so many episodes.
There's so many.
So many episodes. But
It's all good.
that's why Matt wants us to just kind of bring up our favorites, as opposed to like just covering that entirety of that show, because covering the entirety of that show would require multiple episodes of our show.
Well, the caveat here too is that we're going to keep it to the original Batman the Animated Series.
Oh no!
Because if we start allowing too much of the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, then it's going to bleed into Batman Beyond and Justice
But the
League.
New Adventures of
and-
Batman and Robin are really good though.
They are. Oh, you know, okay. If you came into this with a pick from there, I'll allow it.
Yeah, because it's technically the Adventures of Batman and Robin are technically season 2. It's also I'm saying that because I'm reading
Yeah.
the Wikipedia as we speak. It's technically like season 2 or 3 of Batman the Animated Series. Like the name changes, the art style changes, but it's still a continuation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, like, from
Huh.
my memory serves me correct, I believe 2 of my picks are from the new Batman Superman adventure, the new Batman and Robin adventures.
Yeah, it's fair.
Very fair.
Mm. So yeah, you know what? Let me kick it off because I went last time, and you know, I was thinking because rewatching the show, you start to realize how kid friendly it is, as it should be. I mean, was it a Saturday morning cartoon?
No,
I remember they played it a lot after. I remember they played it a lot after.
I
Like,
believe
school
it was a
hours.
4:00 show.
That's
It
what
was
I
it was
thought,
the
yeah.
4:00 in the
Started-
afternoon show.
Yeah, it started as a primetime show. Like the first couple episodes, I believe, were on primetime.
It's crazy.
I mean, as they should be. It was brilliantly done.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking here at like the first episode. The original air date was so I'm sorry. The first 2 episodes were in prime time and were also shown on weekdays.
Hmm.
So September and November on Leather Wings, and Christmas with the Joker.
Which can I
We're in
just
prime
say,
time.
Christmas with the Joker? I cannot believe that is the second episode of the series.
Chef's kiss.
Oh my god, it is fucking perfection. But not one
We'll
of my
get
picks
there.
though. Not one of my picks.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, it's a kid show, so they can't they can't go too crazy with it. And I feel a lot of the plots of the episodes kind of fall into the usual formula of the 1960s Batman. A lot of argument to be had there, but it's usually so much of it is, hey, I think this bad guy's up to something. Oh man, I got captured. I need to figure out a way to break out of this. You know, he breaks out of it and saves the day.
Hmm.
That's a good chunk of the
For
episodes.
Mhm, some of them.
They do it really good. Some of them do fall out. I mean, yeah, but they can't go too crazy with it. But what I thought was really, my pick is going to be Beware the Gray Ghost.
Oh, that's
Solid
a
choice.
solid episode.
Because that was the one where they managed to get Adam West, and he plays I guess he would be like a 1930s, 1940s era superhero.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's like a pulp detective. Oh, yeah, the actor that he's playing played like I was gonna say amalgam, but that's the wrong word. An analog for someone like the Shadow.
Right. And then if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
that is the in the animated series, that is what they were what the Waynes were coming out of when they got murdered.
Oh, they
I believe
really?
I believe
I'm
you're
not
right.
sure. Actually,
Maybe?
no. I know that. No. That's what Terry McGinnis is coming out of when his parents were supposed to be murdered.
There you go.
That's why you should watch Batman Beyond.
That's why. Yeah, that's off the epilogue episode.
Don't spoil epilogue. Don't spoil epilogue.
No, I'm not.
Hashtag don't spoil
no.
epilogue. I will fight every.
Which okay, might I also add is the
Also not your pick for tonight.
no, what I was gonna say is it kind of leans into the Batman Mask of the Phantasm movie.
Oh, it's good.
Which is
too.
Great
so
movie.
Yes.
good.
Oh, I saw that. In
So did
theaters.
I.
So did I. Oh, so good.
But it was really cool though because they brought back Adam West for it. It was just overall a really good episode. And, again, it was really funny because when I watched it as a little kid, I didn't know who Adam West was. I knew there was the 1960s Batman, and me in kindergarten, first grade, thought that was fucking Batman. So the fact that it was Adam West was lost on me. But as an adult, I watched it again, and I was like, "Oh wow!" I love the episode when I was a kid, but as an adult, you get a whole new appreciation.
And that's a really fun episode too. The whole remote control cars. The fact that they like the villain was a collector, was like a person who was a collector of the toys, and they tried to, if I remember correctly, I believe the premise was they're trying to frame the Gray Ghost as the person who's killing people with exploding cars. Or something like that.
I don't remember exactly. It was a whole thing where, I know the guy, the guy was behind it, that was doing all the bombings. I know his master plan was to just get more money, so that he can just buy more toys because the guy was crazy.
I demand more toys.
Yeah, that guy was so weird. I know what was the character's name? But Adam West.
Simon Trent is the actor.
Simon Trent, thank you. He was a suspect. I don't know what the end game was though to get him framed and arrested. I don't remember what that one was.
Yeah, I forget what the motivation is. I haven't watched this episode in a while, but I do remember like Simon Trent, like his, I can't say the role he was typecasted with, but the role that he was known for was being the Gray Ghost, and now he's on the verge of bankruptcy because his acting career is practically over.
But another cool thing that episode touched on, though, was at one point when Batman is trying to solve the bombings that keep happening, as per the episodes of Gray Ghost. He's trying to find episodes of it, and he can't find it because all the originals got burnt, and Simon Trent was the only one that had the episodes.
Yeah, I remember it, like either one of the story beats is him. He reaches out to him and he's like, "I need your help."
Right, and he refuses. It was kind of cool though, because that was like kind of like my introduction to the idea of there being lost media.
Oh.
That's a lot
It's
of
a
fun.
cool con-
That is a cool one.
right?
That is a really cool episode. Now that I think back on it, what's another one?
Oh man, if I had to pick another one, fuck, I forget the name of the episode, but it was the one with the oh god, the time guy.
Clock King.
Clock King.
But I don't think he was called Clock King in the animated
He was.
series, though.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
okay. But I know they changed his real name.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was in the animated series, but like that episode's fun because it's like years later, and after seeing the movie Falling Down, that episode is like a kid version of Falling Down.
Yeah. You know what I also find really funny too is that the animation style of of Batman the animated series was it was compared to most other cartoons, it was kind of, I want to say, in a way conservative, where
Less
you
is
didn't
more.
really, in a way, yeah, like you didn't really see anybody doing any motions that would be exaggerated, like you would commonly see in like a Looney Tunes or anything like that.
Okay.
I mean, you would expect it from it. But like one of the few times I feel like where they broke that rule was when when he walks into court 15 minutes late and then he screams at the camera in like just pure insanity, because the whole idea was that the clocking, he is this to a fault always on time serious person.
Punctual.
So then so his lawyer tells him, here's what you do, you take your coffee break at 3, take it at 3:15. So then he goes at literally 3:15 on the nose, takes his coffee break, and then he loses his papers, and then he loses his business because he wasn't able to show up to court on time. It was really cool too, and again, it kind of falls into the old trope of he tricks Batman into a trap, and then Batman smarts his way out of it, and he saves the day. But again, it was kind of cool though, because like I never read any Batman comics that involve the Clock King. From what I kind of gather, he's kind of like a B tier villain.
Yeah, so I don't remember what his origin is in the comics, and I don't remember a lot about him, but at least originally, they took that character model though from the animated series and did kind of a revamp for Teen Titans as a part of the Darkseid Club storyline. Teen heroes just go missing. This is around the same time that Final Crisis was going to kick off. This was like I think just before or just as that storyline was going on. But like teen heroes start going missing, and there's kind of rumblings of like an underground fight club. So some of the Titans stumble on it, and it's being the fight club that these teen heroes are in is called the Darkseid Club, and like the club itself is run by a human version of Darkseid, but it's being if I remember correctly, the people being supplied, or I should say that the teens that were being supplied by Clocking, who now has like some vague like time manipulation powers. I think he lives like a couple seconds outside of time. So he's like, apparently that makes you a little bit stronger, but it makes you really hard to hit.
Because that was always kind of one of the other funny things about the show, because the Clocking was so punctual. He's like, I know it takes you, 0.3 of a second to throw a punch, Batman.
Oh, and he's dodging him and whatnot.
When he's dodging, yeah. But yeah, you see, that was one thing I always thought the animated show did really well. It took a lot of B tier villains and did a very good job of portraying them.
Oh, 100%.
No, without a
I mean,
question, without a doubt.
there's a plot point, or at least a maybe not plot point, but there's a point that I want to bring up, but I don't know if it's going to be anybody's pick, so I won't do it just yet. But it's on that same wavelength.
There's another villain that I have in mind, and I'm pretty sure one of you guys will pick his episode as well. In terms of like a villain that was kind of like on like not as popular, but the show made him popular.
Yeah, it's fair.
So yeah, with that, I will pass the baton. You sound like you have a lot to say, Ed. How about you?
I have plenty to say about this show.
Bring it
I
on.
think I have too much
Bring
to
it
say
on.
about this show.
That's why we invited you.
So I could go on
Despite the fact you're here every week.
Yeah, right. I could talk about like, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? where the Riddler creates a video game called the Riddle of Minotaur,
Oh, that's a good
that
one.
is a great episode.
where Batman and Robin get stuck in like a virtual version of like the Minotaur's maze. That one's a ton of fun. Joker Fish is great. Mad as a Hatter's a ton of fun. Hell, Christmas with the Joker's up there.
Jokerfish has one of my favorite lines, and I feel like more people need to familiarize themselves with it.
Which line is that?
When the Joker gets away, the one of the detectives is pointing at the Harley Quinn. He goes, "He's an abusive, manipulative jerk. Why are you hanging around him?"
Which is funny because that's like the origin for Harley Quinn is this show.
Yes. Like
So
that.
it's like, yeah,
This show did a lot for the comic
For
book
villains.
not just villains, but the comic book version of Batman in general. I feel like
Yeah.
so much of what he became, what Batman turned into, comes from the animated series, and not
100%.
to mention the fact that some of the better storylines that come out of later on, like Paul Dini wrote Detective Comics for
Yeah.
a long time after he finished writing the TV show,
yeah.
and like
It's good.
so good. It's so good.
So on that wavelength, I could name any of those as like best episode of season 1, hands down. But Feet of Clay is probably one of my favorite.
Ooh, that is a
Very
good
good.
one.
Story and teleplay are both by Marv Wolfman.
Is that, remind me, is that the one with Robin and the girl, or is that the one with?
No, that is Clayface's origin story.
Oh, that is Clayface's origin story. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad, because that means that you're not taking one of my picks.
No, I'm a really big fan of this two-parter, and mostly because of that sequence at the end.
Yeah, where Clayface says his last line.
Where Clayface says his last line, but he's the transformation sequence. Batman gets him cornered in like this giant like security room, I guess, and there's just a bunch of like monitors around him, and he's playing all of his old movies at the same time. So
Yeah.
everything that he sees, he's now trying to like muscle memory copy. I'm sorry, subconsciously copy. And he's just spinning around and he's switching between character and can't hold his form and just passes out.
Is it just me, or did anybody else get an Akira vibe rewatching that episode?
Yeah.
Man, I need to rewatch that episode. I haven't watched that
You
in a
do,
while.
because
It's
that
very good.
animation sequence still holds up. Like it's I don't want to say it's pinnacle animation, but like it's still really good. And that came out in '92.
Oh man.
But I think they won an Emmy for that. I could be wrong.
I mean,
Yeah,
they should.
That show in and of itself deserves
Yeah.
all the accolades.
Oh, they give it all the awards. Give it a pizza and a trophy. No, but what I think is interesting about this is this two-parter for me kind of solidified Clayface as a threat. Like it did the same thing for, at least for me, what this show did for Mr. Freeze.
That was the guy I was alluding to
Yeah,
before. I
same
knew
here.
when you guys would pick him.
Yeah. So Heart of Ice. Mr. Freeze used to just be a dude with a freeze gun. Like him and Captain Cold were practically the same people.
Right.
Just Captain Cold's way more interesting because he's got a code. You know, like no women, no children. Like he tries not to murder the shit out of people just to do it. Mr. Freeze was just a bald dude with a freeze gun. That shit's boring. But you make him like he's got some kind of disease. I honestly forget what's up with him. Like why he's in the suit.
No, he's in.
But he needs to-
so he's. If I remember from what I remember, what it does is it humanizes the character. The whole reason that he ends up in the suit is because he's trying to save his wife, who's got a
Terminal
disease, and in the process of trying to save her, the company that he works for runs out of money.
That's what it was.
I forget.
Thank
I
you.
forget who the major conglomerate was. He's one of the reoccurring
It was-
businessmen.
Was it Daggett?
No, it wasn't Daggett. It was a different guy. McTaggart or some shit like that. I forget.
Was what I can't remember. Was the company Freeze was working for? Was that a derivative of Wayne Corps in the animated series? Because I've seen it be Wayne Corps. In
Yeah,
other
he was. It was
renditions.
definitely his boss was definitely like the company. It was a subsidiary of Wayne Corps, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And what happens is he ends up like he ends up breaking up some of the rules to try to continue like they were gonna kill his wife. Like his wife is cryogenically frozen at this point. And there's a fight in the lab, and supposedly Victor Freeze dies. Like that was the assumption, that he died in the explosion and like the whole big thing. And then he just turns out, nope, he's back, except he is a fucking man in a suit that keeps him refrigerated below, I think it was below freezing temperatures, and he's got a freeze gun. But he's trying to do is trying to save his wife and get revenge pretty much for what they did to him.
You guys are gonna laugh. The name of the company is Gothcore.
It's Gothcore. Needless to say, that episode is fantastic. Like I fucking love all these episodes that not just humanize, but they're just like emotional roller coasters. Like they hit you with emotions of that a kid's cartoon. Like looking back,
yeah,
I thinking back when I watched it as a kid, it kind of went over my head, but I know I felt something. But now when I watch it as an adult, I'm like, holy shit, how did I miss all that? Yeah.
This episode, then Heart of Ice actually won an Emmy, the Daytime Emmy in '93.
It deserved it.
Yeah.
Heart of Ice is a great episode.
I mean, and to the same extent, you were saying that this is a kid's show. It's one of the biggest reasons that like you don't see a lot of like there are fight scenes in the show, obviously. I mean, there has to be, but you don't see like, you know, Batman throw down and he starts throwing a bunch of punches and like there's like knockdown drag out fights because it's a kid's show. That was, I think, one of the mandates to get the show made was like, okay, you can do it, but Batman can't throw. Like we don't want to see him throwing punches or kicks and like hurting other people. So there's a lot of dodging and a lot of throwing and a lot of like fighting of robots once in a while. A lot of just like I'm bear hugging you and he escapes and like pushes the guy away. You know what I mean? They try to keep it as kid friendly as possible.
I could see that. Yeah, I could absolutely see that. I don't know if that's like an actual thing. I hope it really was, because if that's the case, they did a great job of figuring out.
That 100% is.
Okay.
It's why in the opening there's a lot of dodging and jumping and diving around, and the only punches you see thrown are like from shadows.
I also think it's half the reason why all his rogue gallery pretty much works with gases.
You're right.
Yeah, it's also true.
You're right. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, so many good episodes. Oh God.
Yeah, it's one of those. I completely forgot that Christmas with the Joker was episode 2.
Dude, that's in the process of rewatching this for this episode. I was skimming through all the episodes to see what episode, like, because you can't sit. I currently, even though I'm still working and all this other stuff, I can't sit down and rewatch all of it.
Yeah, no, of course.
And in preparation for this episode, I had to pick specific episodes that I wanted to watch. So as I'm skimming through, I'm like, Christmas the Joker was the second episode?
Yeah, and it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's arguably one of the better episodes of season 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get Joker in the Adam West one until like episode 6.
And you just know, like, that's just there's no introduction to the Joker. They didn't have to give him a backstory. They didn't have to do anything with him. It's just he's escaping out of Arkham on a Christmas tree rocket.
Laughing maniacally, voiced by Mark Hamill.
He's singing the Jingle Bells Batman Smells song too as he's blasting off on his Christmas tree rocket.
Who was supposed to be the original Joker? Wasn't it like Tim Curry or something?
There's test footage of that.
Yeah, there is.
Oh. You can actually check that out if you do a hot Google or YouTube search.
No, actually, I think they used the Tim Curry laugh in one segment of the Joker Fish.
Really?
No, it wasn't in the Joker Fish. It was in the episode with the robot clown, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Captain Clown.
Captain Clown, yeah. You killed Captain Clown.
You killed Captain.
Why do I remember all of this?
Because that episode's great.
That episode is really good. And this is the problem with this. And we're gonna talk. I know we're gonna talk about so many episodes, and we're gonna miss out a lot of episodes in this discussion, especially considering how many great and like how many two-parters are really good, because it was one of those shows that also was really good with like leaving that to be continued.
100%. And what's neat is that from what I remember, this show, its time slot, they had like 2 new episodes a week. So for something like these two-parters, like Feet of Clay, you'd have the release date was September 8th and September 9th. but it would leave you on a cliffhanger that's like, come back tomorrow. It's like, you son of a bitch.
I know. And as a kid, 24 hours is like an eternity.
Yeah, I don't want to wait.
24 hours is a fucking eternity. Like just sitting here waiting for the next episode to come on. It's enough to have to sit through the Netflix credits to get to the next episode.
I was just about to say, in today's binge watch culture, like, what do you mean you're not releasing your entire show in a day? How dare you? I have to wait weekly for my. How dare you, Netflix? Like,
It's fine.
You know what I mean?
feel like there's more appreciation for it. Thinking back on it now. Like I 100% appreciate the show so much more now that I realizing that was a show I could not binge watch. It was a show that like I had to wait for the next day, and like it was rushing home to make sure that I was home as quick as I could from school. Like I got dressed in my regular clothes because I went to Catholic school, so I had to wear like a uniform. So I had to change out of my uniform. And
you're watching as you're changing.
Yes, exactly. Just like putting on Channel 5 to New York. It was Fox 5.
Yeah, same here.
So good.
No, it's great, man. Like this show is part of the reason I got into comics. Like I distinctly remember going to watch the first episode of this, like getting to stay up a little bit late, and my dad was excited to watch this. So like him and I sat down and watched on Leather Wings. And like I don't give a fuck about Man Bat. I still don't give a fuck about Man Bat. Man Bat fucking sucks. But it was hype as shit.
Man.
Like fuck yeah, I want to watch Batman use his grapple gun and like catch Man Bat's leg and fly through Gotham. Like I'd never seen animation like this before. It still holds
really
up.
well done. You know what's really good about the show too? The merchandise.
Oh hell yeah!
Dude,
the action figures.
The
action
action figures are
figures
fantastic.
amazing.
Oh my
Dude,
god!
I probably have like Arctic Batman somewhere with like action skis, like, and he shoots like missiles out of his chest.
I have a space one somewhere where he's wearing red. I got that. Anybody else have the Batmobile?
I never had that Batmobile, but that
I
Batmobile
don't
was
have
just
the Batmobile, but I wanted it.
Oh, I wanted that Batmobile.
Where you can pull it out and the wings come out of it and it becomes a jet.
I did have that.
Dude, I think it was baller.
I did have that. I turned it into the Batplane.
Yeah.
I do have that somewhere.
I needed that. I never got it. I needed it though.
You were deprived of childhood policy.
I was.
You had it rough.
When I talk about what my favorite episodes are, you'll understand. You'll be like, "Wow, that's really dark. Like, why are those your favorite episodes?"
Yeah, that's fair.
All right,
real quick before you jump into that, I did want to make a quick note. I was saying that season 2 was technically the new Batman Adventures. I'm wrong. It was season 4. So 3 years after the second season of Batman the Animated Series ended production, they moved the show from Fox to the WB and started airing Superman, and then mashed Batman and Superman together in like an hour-long segment, and then started producing new episodes of Batman in the same style as Superman.
Oh man! All right, we gotta go on break now because I'm gonna start talking about the Superman cartoon.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh, that was so good. All right, we'll be back. You will have a long and prosperous career in crime fighting like Dick Grayson's if you like, subscribe, and share us on whatever platform you use to listen to podcasts. However, if you don't, your career will end up like Jason Todd's. Thank you. And we're back. All right, so talked about some Batman the Animated Series. I picked the Gray Ghost. Ed picked a smattering of episodes. The one that stuck out to me, I think, was the Riddler episode. What was that called again? The
Oh, geez, I just had it in front of me.
right?
Why aren't you rich?
Oh, you're
like
so
that.
smart. Why aren't you rich?
If you're so smart, why aren't
Yes,
you rich?
that's exactly what it is.
that should be a Spider-Man episode.
I'm sighing
Sure.
because like the little kid in me loves Spider-Man because I'm like, yo,
Right.
look at this guy. He's a dick. He's great. I love him. And then I got older and was like, Peter Parker, you're a fucking moron. You're a genius and you're working as a fucking journalist. What are you doing?
Right.
Journalism's
That's what
dead,
you-
you idiot. Don't make some fucking money as a mogul.
Right? Like,
He's not a journalist. He's a photographer.
That's even
Look-
worse.
He's
Yeah.
a Spider-Man.
He takes pictures of himself.
Fucking narcissistic prick.
All right. Hold on. Before we get into that,
Make an app, you asshole.
all right. So we've covered Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Clock King, and and the Riddler so far have been included
do
in
we
our
want
best
to
episodes.
talk about real quick about how this show Harley Quinn was created for the
We
show?
already talked about that. What I want to talk about is Mike's favorite episodes.
My
Ooh, this I gotta hear.
my favorite episodes. Okay, here we go. Maybe you haven't heard of it. It's a little known episode. The first appearance of Clayface.
You mean the one we just talked about?
That one.
Right.
Okay. Well,
did you have a backup?
I definitely had a backup for sure.
Oh,
okay.
I can't wait. Okay. What's your number two?
This one. Okay. Not only has Kevin Conroy as Batman, but it's got the original Batman, Adam West himself, as the Grey Ghost.
Oh, son of a bitch!
I don't know if you've heard of this.
Crap.
I don't know if you've seen this.
Have you heard this? Have you seen this? It's the Grey Ghost, voiced by Adam West himself, Mr. Batman.
Oh no! Sorry, Mike.
This is why we should have conversations before we start.
Yeah, that's fine. I watched 3 episodes. I'm so prepared.
He went and watched his favorite episodes to prepare for this. He memorized them. He was ready for this.
Oh, forwards and backwards.
Unfortunately, 2 of them had Clayface, and so he's got no number.
Oh,
3.
that's true. I got Clayface twice.
I mean, sorry, I just didn't pick the laughing fish because that Captain Clown bit is beautiful.
Oh, it's great.
Oh
You
god,
killed Captain Clown.
that's not even in the right episode. That's a different episode.
I thought that was the laughing fish.
No, the
no.
laughing fish is a different episode.
What am I
Laughing
thinking
Fish
about?
is the one where he has Harley Quinn singing the jingle about eating fish.
Oh, that's right. What episode am I thinking of?
I forget. I don't remember the name of it, but that is the same episode where they used the original, like a sound snippet of the original Tim Curry voicing the Joker, which was supposed to be what was supposed to happen. Tim Curry was supposed to play the Joker.
Apparently, he ducked out of that for Eek the Cat.
That's very smart.
I don't know if that's true or
Very
not,
smart.
but that's the only other show.
No,
But that's the only other show I know of him doing VA work at the time.
No, I know it was a scheduling conflict with like some other movie he was going to be in, and was like, he's like, I want this role, but I can't do it. So they.
Oh no! Please don't tell me he turned down Batman for Congo.
I honestly don't know.
Oh, come on.
Oh god!
I'm just surprised we haven't talked about Be a Clown yet. The one where the Joker dresses up as like a kid's party clown.
Oh, an actual clown.
Yeah, and he like befriends the mayor's son.
That's a creepy ass episode.
Good episode though.
I'm pretty sure that was Joaquin Phoenix was in that, right? Like that. Did we think about the same episode? Or?
And the mayor was played by Robert De Niro.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
The bear. Oh my god. You see it here first. Batman the Animated Series did it first.
Of course. Of course.
We live in a society.
All right.
No.
So you know what? Then fine. I'll take over since you guys went and stole Mike's favorite episodes. And thankfully I've seen enough of these episodes to be able to come up with different ones.
I'm devastated.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm actually gonna give you an episode that doesn't revolve around a villain. Okay. So my favorite episode is a 2-parter. It's Robin's Reckoning, which is the episode that gives us more or less the full backstory of the Dick Grayson Robin and everything that leads up to, well, both kind of seeing where he and Batman are so different in the way that they function, and also seeing where they both come from in that pain that they felt of being orphans, watching their parents die, and knowing that they were killed by someone, that their parents were murdered.
Do you mean to tell me that this is a better telling of Robin's backstory than Batman Forever?
Yes! Without a doubt. Oh my god.
That's impossible.
I mean, look, on the plus side,
who's a better actor than Chris O'Donnell?
On the
said no one ever.
You just
no one asked that question ever.
You just did.
I will say this: what the best part, one of the good things that episode has in common with Batman Forever is it does have a motorcycle scene.
Ooh.
So, like Robin does ride a motorcycle in that episode, and drives over like a really like crazy jump as well. So,
is there like does he end up like going through like some kind of like laser tag looking thing with like a bunch of different multicolored lights?
he does
how
not.
Do like the
neon.
Kabuki Warriors from WMAC Masters show up? Like,
He does not go through that. But like I said, that episode was probably one of those episodes that kind of solidified my love of the Dick Grayson character. It really fleshed him out as being more than just Batman's sidekick. For me, at least when I rewatched it as an adult. As a kid, it went over my head where I was just like, wow, this is really good. As a kid, just it was another great episode. But as an adult, it was just like, holy shit, this is really giving me a good insight into who the Dick Grayson character is. And kind of like Ed said, it's the stuff that got me into comics, but also got me into reading more about, all right, let me look into who Dick Grayson is.
You know, I feel like that episode, for most people our age, that was our introduction to Robin's backstory.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Because he just pops up in the old 1960s Batman. I don't think they ever explained his backstory in that, and none of us read comic books from the golden era.
No.
So.
And funny story, there is a picture of me somewhere out there on the internet as a child dressed as Robin.
I think I've seen this picture.
Yeah, there is a picture of me dressed in like the thankfully it wasn't the pixie shorts. They were actually like regular green shorts, but like
Oh, thank God! I was about to have questions.
so like no, my mom was a seamstress and she made me a Robin costume, and like
That's
was
cool.
one of
That's
the
very cool.
coolest fucking costumes I think I've ever worn.
That's-
All right.
Little Paulo solving
now
crime.
you see,
Yep.
Yo,
that shows you dedication, because you are the first person I've ever heard of that below the age of like 10 would willingly dress up as Robin.
I
over
was
Batman.
below 10. I think I must have been 6 or 7 in that picture. I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to my days of playing like the Batman and Robin video game on like my Sega Genesis, and me and my friends would argue over, no, I get to play Batman. No, fuck you. You played Robin. You played Batman last time. I don't want to play Robin. He's lame.
I don't know why I loved Robin so much, but like needless to say, that episode solidified how much I love the Robin character, the Dick honestly, the Robin character in and of itself, even because one of my other episodes, it's probably my third pick. It's not my second pick. It involves the Tim Drake Robin.
ooh,
It's the episode where I forget the name of it, where he saves this girl from Clayface. And
this one's
the
fun.
entire episode revolves around him keeping her away from Clayface. And at one point, he even goes against Batman's wishes to keep her safe, only to fucking find out that she was a part of Clayface
the whole
time.
Oh shit, I remember that one.
That's brutal.
That episode just messes you up. It is a fantastic episode. I wish I remember the name, but it was
little baby Timothy's heart
Yup.
breaks at the end.
Baby
of it.
yeah. Oh my god. And I mean, I kind of get a little annoyed because I remember thinking back on it now. It's obvious that they tried to kind of merge the characters of Jason Todd, Robin, and Tim Drake into the same Robin. They didn't give to flesh out like the fact that Tim Drake is like a fantastic detective, a smart kid, and that Jason Todd was just this fucking delinquent. Yeah, I mean,
like that's one of the beauties of this show is that like they knew what the lore was and they were fans of the lore, but they were like, how is this going to make sense for a general audience?
Oh, without a doubt.
Because like is Jason Todd, like up until that point, I mean, this is in like the mid 90s now, or late 90s at this point, and Jason Todd coming back to life wasn't even wasn't even close to on the menu. It wasn't a thought in anybody's mind.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, do we bring in this second Robin just to kill him? Like, no, like we're not going to do all that. Let's just merge the two.
Oh yeah, and if you do want to see a good movie with the second Jason Todd Robin in it, go watch Batman Under the Red Hood. That movie's great. So great.
It's fantastic.
Ooh.
It's almost like there's a lot of stuff in there that's lifted, like panel for panel dialogue, just straight from the comic, into that movie, except for like a main plot point.
Yeah, and believe it or
which
not,
is great.
believe it or not, the
guy that plays Jason Todd is Jensen
yes,
Ackles.
I was about to say that. Oh my god, makes me so happy. It's such a great fucking choice for the actor.
Yeah, fun story. He I want to say he not only tried out for Captain America, but like he's been pushing to play Jason Todd in a movie.
He should. I can see him doing
Yeah.
it.
If this was like 10 years ago, I'd be all for a Jensen Ackles, Jason Todd. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the brothers on Supernatural.
He is Dean. Dean
Yes,
Winchester.
he is Dean.
In one episode, he famously quotes Batman by saying, "I'm Batman."
Wait, hold on. I don't remember. Dumb question. Tim Drake. Was he part of the Batman and Robin animated series, or was he
Yes.
part of the original?
It was the Batman and
okay,
Robin animated
okay.
series. That was after
okay.
the big fallout between Bruce and Dick.
Which is another great episode where they give you all that backstory.
Oh my god, that is another great episode. They give you that whole thing where Tim is talking to Nightwing.
And I want to say that they even use some of the older like animation style. I mean, I have a vivid memory of like Robin and Batman getting into like a fist fight I mean, not so much a fist fight, but like Dick gets angry and like throws his domino mask off and like punches Bruce in the face.
Oh
and, like,
yeah, that was fucking great.
grapple guns away.
So I think he took off the whole costume, like the whole top of the costume took off too.
Probably.
I don't know. All I remember is that's another great episode. But my second favorite episode, I know I mentioned the third one, but my second favorite episode is the episode called Over the Edge. That episode is also from the new Adventures of Batman and Robin.
That's so.
But that episode is by far super intense. Like the entire episode from beginning to end is absolutely intense. It is a little bit of a letdown that what you find out at the end.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's a letdown.
I mean, it makes sense. Like it's really good. Needless to say, the episode starts with Batgirl chasing Scarecrow through like up a rooftop through a building. Batman tells her to wait. She doesn't listen. She gets gassed with the Scarecrow gas, and then you see her fall. No one catches her, and she falls on top of the police car.
Yeah,
That Commissioner Gordon is driving.
Oh no.
And not only do you see, like, that was brutal.
Yeah.
The fact that they showed that was shocking when that happened.
Oh, I mean, I don't even think that's the most shocking part. Like that, yes, that is horribly shocking, and like no pun intended. There's a more shocking moment later for me
I forget.
in that episode.
I don't know which part would be more shocking, but I mean, afterwards, the fact that she, you see her get unmasked and Commissioner Gordon finds out,
Loses his shit.
And goes after Batman. And like, he's going after him with everything that the Gotham PD has. Gotham PD finally looks like it's a fucking actual police department. Yeah.
Well, what's fun with that episode too is it's one of those that like there's a big like does he know, doesn't he know, and that I feel like that's for a lot of Batman characters. There's a big question mark over whether or not, and depending on who's writing, they give you that answer. But like, does the Joker know who Bruce Wayne is? Does Jim Gordon know who Bruce Wayne or Batman is?
Mhm.
And that episode answers that question, at least for Jim Gordon.
Oh,
Like once he finds out that his daughter's Batgirl, he's like, "Oh, Bruce, you're fucked."
Oh, it comes after him full force. I think he kills Alfred too, doesn't he?
I don't remember if the Gotham City police straight up kill Alfred, but I do remember like he just sends the entire police force to Wayne Manor. Like it's pretty much one of those like he finds out his daughter's dead and is just like, all right, everybody up to Wayne Manor. Like we're sending the troops in.
What was the shocking moment you're talking about? So
The shocking moment I'm talking about is they this episode or towards like the end of the episode, Batman or no, I think if I remember correctly, because it's been a little while. So I don't remember the circumstances of why Bane is fighting Batman. I want to say that like they Gordon lets him out. So I forget if he's in Arkham or if he's just locked in like Blackgate prison.
You know what? That wouldn't surprise me.
But they just set Bane on him. And Bane is going one-on-one now with Batman on this rooftop. Actually, not rooftop. It's the GCPD rooftop because they're fighting in front of the bat signal. So there's the reason I wanted to bring this up is because like, I mean, I've been talking about the animation of this show and how like there's sequences that still hold up. there's this really cool like stutter step, like, or he like Batman does this like little like this like stutter step coming forward, and he throws this punch at Bane. Like I can't really explain it. I'll like whoever does the editing for this episode, I'll see if we can leave a like a link in the description to what I'm talking about. But I haven't seen, like, at the time that was groundbreaking, and even looking at it now, it still holds up. It's really, really fucking cool. But they get into this fist fight, like they get into this fight, and Batman kills Bane. If I remember correctly, he just throws him into the fucking the bat signal, and you see him just get like electrocuted. Which I was like, whoa, Batman just straight up killed this guy.
No, it's a really fantastic episode. Just
How did they bring it back? I remember the scene with Bane. I'm just trying to remember, like, how do they smooth things over afterwards?
she wakes up. It was a fear-induced coma that she was in, I believe.
It was all a dream. She used to read Word Up magazine.
That's how I wish they would have done that with the opening scene of the Killing Joke movie. I wish it had all just been a dream.
So I will sing Bruce Timm's praises for forever. I don't think that guy can do any wrong, except for that.
Except for that, right?
Because like even the rest of that movie, everything that's the Killing Joke is good.
And they brought back Mark Hamill for that.
And Bruce and fucking Kevin Conroy. Thank you. Sorry. Listen, he's Bruce Wayne. He is the voice of Bruce Wayne. When I read a comic book, I read it in that voice.
You know what's cool?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you know what's really cool? So after like the 9/11 attacks, Kevin Conroy did a bunch of work in like soup kitchens and stuff with like, and was helping out with like some of the relief stuff like in person. And I want to say that he just would kind of throw out stuff because of like people didn't know who he was because he was a voice actor. So like it's not like he was on TV and like he was a big star,
Right.
But he was in that role and people had seen it. So he would throw out the Batman voice once in a while.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
So you had like these like first responder guys he was helping out, and they were like, "Oh shit! Like I used to watch that with my kids," or like they were fans, like they grew up fans of the show. I just thought that was a neat little tidbit.
That's fun.
This show is just as a whole is just fantastic, and unfortunately, like I can no longer hear any character that Mark Hamill does as not the Joker. Like if you're a fan of Avatar, the Last Airbender, you do realize that Aang fights the Joker at the end of the series.
Season
one. No. Yeah, it's all the Joker. It's fine.
Some other show he was a VA and I was watching before.
A bunch of stuff, man. And then randomly it's just like, wait, that's the Joker.
He voices a giant man baby clown in Scooby-Doo Mysteries Inc. And he's doing a baby version of the Joker.
That sounds obnoxious.
He also he also does the voice of the prankster,
and it's just the Joker.
It's just the Joker. He actually played
the prankster on the live action.
Yeah, the live action Flash show. Yeah, in the one of their alternate Earths, he played that.
He also played Cockknocker in the Jay and Silent Bob movie.
He did do that
as well.
Did you guys know that Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker?
What?
I don't believe that's true. Someone looks like him.
That was actually a really funny little tidbit. In most of the Star Wars games in like the late 90s and into some of the early 2000s, if the game had Luke Skywalker in it, most of the time, I can't think of any examples, they would have to get a different VA for Luke Skywalker.
What, because they couldn't afford him?
Yeah, because he was doing a lot of professional voice work at the time.
That's really interesting.
That's great.
What I was gonna say though is like the legacy of his, role as that character, I guess, like his performance as the Joker. The only time I've ever heard somebody voice the Joker and not do a Mark Hamill impression was John DiMaggio in Batman Under the Red Hood. He very much does his own thing. Everybody else just does an impression of him. So like Troy Baker in Young Justice is just doing a Mark Hamill impression. Hell, Alan Tudyk, who's doing the voice of the Joker in the Harley cartoon, which is fantastic, by the way. He's just doing Mark Hamill. And it sucks.
I like him as a.
So I mean, when I say it sucks, I mean like I don't mean that it's bad. Like he's giving a bad performance. That's kind of maybe not an accurate
Oh,
thing.
I think your complaint is that everybody just tries to emulate Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and Alan Tudyk, like watching Alan Tudyk in the Doom Patrol show, and seeing him just act all crazy and shit as Mr. Nobody. I wanted that. Like I seeing him as that character in Doom Patrol. I'm like, give this guy the Joker and let him knock it out of the park. And he's just doing Mark Hamill, and I'm like, you're so much better.
Do you know who else he's fantastic as? Clayface.
He is Clayface.
He's Clayface. He is the voice of Clayface and the Joker. His Clayface is fucking fantastic. That Clayface is amazing. That show is amazing.
It's really funny.
That show takes every trope from Batman the Animated Series, the Batman movies, the Batman comics, and takes it up and memes it. And somehow makes it into a coherent fucking show. It is just absolutely fantastic.
Okay, hold on. I was just corrected. Alan Tudyk is not doing he's not doing an impression of Mark Hamill. He's actually just doing Ludo from Star versus the Forces of Evil, just a little more high pitched.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, less high pitched. Yeah,
I gotta watch that show.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, then never mind. It's hilarious though.
All I know is I have a lot of time. I will probably end up rewatching the first season of Harley Quinn.
Do it.
Batman the Animated Series.
Do it.
Justice League. Just watch everything that's on the DC universe right now. Go watch Batman Red Sun. I'm sorry, not Batman Red Sun. Go watch Superman Red Sun.
Hell yeah.
Batman Under the Red Hood. Batman Hush.
Speaking of all the good things on DC Universe, and speaking of Gothcore, you know what Gothcore also invented?
What's that?
The Batman Beyond theme song.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Good night, everybody. All of the music that you have heard is the song Dance Rocket off the album Descent of the Goober Monster by Jesse Spillane. It is licensed under an Attribution 4.0 International CC by 4.0 license off freemusicarchive.org. If you have a question, a topic you would like us to cover, or simply wish to tell us all of the facts that we have screwed up, feel free to email us at laymansguidetothemultiverse@gmail.com. Also, feel free to visit us at our website at laymansguidetothemultiverse.com.